This week in U.S. immigration news, we are going to cover: Venezuelans decide next steps in Mexico, temporary departure requirement, Human Rights Coalition requests no military intervention in Haiti, immigrants deported on cannabis charges, possible surge of Haitian migrants, ACICS loss of recognition, pepper balls launched at group crossing U.S.-Mexico border, updated Form I-134. Due to the recent deal between the U.S. and Mexico, Venezuelans can now be expelled under Title 42 and sent to Mexico unless they apply for the sponsorship program in the U.S. and arrive by plane. Since the announcement of this new plan over the past week, about 1,700 Venezuelans have already been expelled to Mexico. Many of the migrants were bused to Mexico's capital to take the burden off the country's border towns. As of last week, 7,500 applications were being processed and the first 100 Venezuelans had been approved to fly. In Mexico City, groups of Venezuelans have been moving around from shelters, some sleeping on the street while waiting to begin their paperwork. USCIS is clarifying its current policy on implementing the requirement that workers leave the U.S. for at least 30 days after 2 renewals of their CNMI-only transitional worker visa classification. Effective immediately, the only CW1 petitions the agency will classify as consecutive petitions for purposes of the temporary departure requirement are approved CW1 petitions that have a starting validity date on or after June 18, 2020. Any extension of CW1 status granted on or after June 18, 2020, will be considered a consecutive petition if the extension has a starting validity date on or after that date. A coalition of civil society groups wrote a letter to President Joe Biden, requesting the administration to permanently discard the possibility of a military intervention in Haiti. The coalition includes more than 90 civil society, faith-based, humanitarian, peacebuilding and diaspora groups, including the Washington Office for Latin America, the Chicago-based civil rights group Mi Velita Neighbors and the Quaker Pro-Peace Lobby Friends Committee on National Legislation. The letter recognizes the challenges Haiti is facing since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. In their letter, the group said Haitian civil society has flatly rejected foreign military intervention as a solution. President Joe Biden recently announced pardons for nearly 6,500 Americans convicted on federal marijuana possession charges as part of an executive order to eventually decriminalize simple marijuana possession. Immigration advocates argue the pardons should also be granted to undocumented immigrants that were incarcerated and some deported for marijuana charges after spending most of their lives living and working in the United States. More than 130 immigration advocacy groups plan on sending a letter to Biden, requesting an inclusion of refugees, asylum seekers and visa holders with marijuana convictions.
If you are new to our channel, welcome and please subscribe to stay in the loop. We offer free 15-minute consultations if your case is qualified, so we can point you in the right direction. Stay tuned for the secret code later in the show.
The Biden administration is considering its options on how to respond to the possible surge of Haitian migrants. The administration is debating whether to temporarily hold migrants in another country or to expand its capacity at an existing facility at the U.S. prison at Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. The White House National Security Council is asking the Department of Homeland Security what number of Haitian migrants would cause the U.S. to need to designate a third country to hold and process Haitian migrants found at sea and what number would overwhelm that country, requiring Haitians to be taken to Guantanamo. Guantanamo Bay currently has a migrant operations center that is used to house migrants found by the Coast Guard in the Caribbean. On August 19, the U.S. Department of Education announced that it no longer recognizes the Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools as an accrediting agency. This loss of recognition affects 2 immigration-related student programs, including English language study programs and F1 students applying for 24-month science, technology, engineering and mathematics optional practical training extension. For the F1 students, the regulations require them to use a degree from an accredited, student and exchange visitor program certified school for their STEM-OPT extension. The school must be accredited at the time of the application. The loss of recognition means that colleges and universities solely accredited by ACICS are no longer accredited institutions, and any degrees conferred by those schools on or after August 19, 2022, will no longer qualify as a U.S. degree in terms of qualifying for the H-1B advanced degree exemption or for beneficiary requirements at 8 CFR 214.2. U.S. Border Patrol agents launched pepper balls at a group of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border along the Rio Grande in El Paso after the agency reported one person threw a rock at an agent and another was assaulted with a flagpole. A video showed the agents approaching the group of migrants, which included a man carrying a Venezuelan flag as he crossed the river. Landon Hutchins, the spokesperson for Border Patrol, said that as the group of Venezuelans protested along the river, they tried to enter the U.S. illegally. USCIS released an updated Form I-134, Declaration of Financial Support. This form is used to agree to provide financial support to a beneficiary of certain immigration benefits for the duration of their temporary stay in the United States. To file Form I-134, you must be located in the United States. Ukrainians and Venezuelans seeking parole under Uniting for Ukraine or the Process for Venezuelans may not file Form I-134 on their own behalf. Included in the form must be the name of the beneficiary. Applicants must file separate Form I-134 for each beneficiary you are planning to support, including minor children.
Friends, show us some love and smash the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. If you have an immigration problem or need a second opinion because you cannot get a hold of your own lawyer, schedule a meeting with our team. Share information with our CARES team and they will help you get scheduled with our legal team. Now here's a secret code to unlock the free 15 minutes.